But now we are after our car as Corey and Amy.
Nobody touches my wheels.
This game does do different from the first game in the fact that you don't really choose your characters a whole lot. It kind of sets up segments with fixed characters, and you can kind of just do that. There is a trick that I actually learned from the speedrunner. I forget his name, but I'll probably put it up on screen. But if you go off to the side here, like off to the right and down, you can actually not activate these enemies because the trigger doesn't trigger. So it's kind of funny just to do that, but I will go activate them just because we don't want to skip out on fights and stuff. So just know if you follow the railing here off to the right and then go that way, you can actually skip them. But we're gonna go ahead and fight this big I want to say fella, but it's actually a female. So this big girl over here, all of these ones are actually mutated females, so in case you're wondering. But yeah, we're gonna give Amy the stun gun just because she can put in work with it. Unfortunately, she also likes draining the battery like really quickly. But we can also find a energy drink over here. I'm gonna go ahead and reload. Since we know there's enemies coming up, obviously, I want to have full ammo. And again, anytime you get rid of an enemy, just suck the proteins out of the organ.
It's okay. I've got a dose of
So, now we've got a mini healing item. If you look at it, you can examine it. It's just serum. You can use it as a healing item. You can actually get better and better versions as you go on. But for now, we just have the regular serum, not improved.
Don't you think you're exaggerating a bit? What about May, huh?
He crashed my baby! That bastard! You can't hide! I'll have your skin, jerk!
So yeah, Corey really likes his car. We don't want Amy going up and hitting the blobs here, so... Well, I guess she can as long as she takes it out. Your teammates in this one do seem to have a bit better of an understanding on how to not get the absolute shit rocked out of them whenever it comes to fights. But at the same time, they still like getting the shit rocked out of them. So it's better to, at a certain point, kind of just not have them have melee weapons. That's kind of why I like giving her the stun gun, just because whenever she uses it, she's not in the line of fire. But we picked ourselves up an electric chainsaw, so now we can cut down the tree. I like to recharge the battery again, just because if Amy pulls out the stun gun, we will be using the chainsaw again later, and it will save us some time to not have her drain the battery entirely. But we have a paper here. It takes Amy to read illegible writing, I guess. It's kind of weird. But since we have Amy, we can go ahead and have her read the paper. And here we have: the stalker of Fall Creek Forest has struck again. A couple who was walking in the forest claims to have been assaulted by a stocky man with a deformed face. This is the 7th report of such an incident in 1 year. And we'll get more to that when we get to it. Obviously, that's going to be the running theme here. Go ahead and grab our first aid kit that's sitting on the thing here. And again, cutscenes don't actually stop gameplay, so we can go ahead and run around while we're in the cutscene. But while we're doing this, we can actually skip a little bit here if we just grab the shotgun and start running with Amy. And as you can tell, Corey got the shotgun, so he's starting to blast the shit out of things with it. Again, because your people, whatever they're stuck with last, they end up going crazy with it. So whenever Corey picked up the shotgun, he actually ended up using it. So yeah, whenever Corey picks up the shotgun, he will use it. Again, your AI just go crazy with whatever weapon they have last. So whenever Corey had the shotgun, he ended up using it. So you just have to be mindful of what you leave AI with.
Hey, Corey.
But if you just remember our stalker paper, well, here's our stalker of Fall Creek.
What is that? Huh? What the?
You know, watching this cutscene again, I'm very curious as to how Corey had blood fall on his face whenever he was looking at like a downward angle. It's really strange. But at the same time, oh well. But yeah, before Amy burns through all of our battery, we're gonna go ahead and cut this tree and run. Again, since this is a survival horror game, we kind of don't want to burn through supplies whenever we can, because we will need the ammo and stuff. That includes our battery, as well as our shotgun, so we kind of have multiple fronts of resources that we need to worry about. And here all of our doors will be locked, but we'll go ahead and give Amy this gun for now. We don't need to worry about giving her a lift up, but we will need to work our way across up here. And don't stop for any reason whatsoever. You will hear the harpy enemies attacking, but we don't want to stop. So yeah, Amy is currently shocking the shit out of them, but we will open up the door for her.
Blondie, what are you waiting for? An invitation?
You like that, and I won't be to kick you when it really hurts.
And this game would probably be better with 2 people, but at the same time, I am one awkward weirdo and kind of play the game alone. So, we get through that part relatively good. Amy burning through all of the battery, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot.
Creek here. We need help. Please.
And again, the line deliveries in this game fluctuate from decently good to
Corey, where are
absolutely terrible.
At the hospital. My car.
It's something of a marvel.
I'm worried about you, Corey.
I know.
I do believe that this studio was French, though, so at the same time, for English deliveries and stuff, I can't really fault them too much, because if somebody spoke terrible in French, I wouldn't know. So, it's still magical, though.
Don't worry. We're gonna stay here a while. It seems peaceful.
It's kind of like Resident Evil 1, like the original,
I love you, Corey.
that level, kind of dialogue and writing and delivery. Meanwhile, we have Kenny at the hospital because he wasn't feeling well.
Go on. Work. Just once.
So yeah, Kenny's in a bit of a pinch. But now we have Stan, the man,
I'm so sorry. I
and
didn't
Shan,
have pills.
none, not the man, but Shannon. So we do have the return of 3 of the original 5 of the squad. And now we're going to be playing as Sven and May. Sven, he works pretty much the same way as Kenny. He is the strongman of the group. He's also the stereotypical Scandinavian, I guess. He's supposed to be from Norway, so
We're close.
he kind of plays into it a lot, even though he wasn't really raised in Norway. He was just born there.
Hold on, June.
But he really, really doles up, or really plays up the Viking.
Later. For now, we just go on.
His lines are very cheesy.
Hold on. We're
So we've got to go help June. Not too terribly hard. Just push the box a little bit and then get Sven's big ass up here. We can just work our way into the campus. Go ahead and recharge our battery because we have none.
The battery is.
Then we're going to take over May because we actually need to use her. And Sven's good at defending them off, so we can go ahead and do this.
Less than 2 minutes.
But this one will actually be Freud? Froud? However you would pronounce it.
Stupid code.
I believe it's Sigmund Freud. But, psychologist, I believe, if I'm remembering right.
Trust me, they won't get you.
So, famous people, you just need to
June, damn
put
it.
in the code for them. If you know what you're looking for, then it's not that bad. But we're gonna pull that pop machine out of the way and then go down the hallway on our left, and then June will be right in front of us.
Hey, I'm gonna bust you up.
We're actually gonna try and save June, so... Well, never mind. Hang on, we're gonna save June. I'll be back, but apparently it didn't want to actually kill her or actually take any damage there. But we'll be back there. Give me just 1 second. Okay, now we're back to where June is. Let's try this again with less dying.
You're gonna pay. I'm gonna bust you up.
There we go. So June kind of got chucked out a window. If you couldn't tell. Instead of getting her head crushed. So now she is currently just kind of chilling. So now we're going to have to help her out of her situation of
That's going to help us.
being thrown out the window.
This thing is old. There's a dial to adjust the picture.
June, we see you.
And this scene is very CCTV terrible.
June, those boards seem to break easily.
But yeah, you need to adjust with the right stick on the screen as you go. It can be kind of terrible. But yeah, we're just leading June through the fixed camera angle section here. Really trying to not be blind on the camera the whole time. But now we take over June in first person, which is, well, not first person, never mind. No, not first person, third person. Which is okay. June gets the Morgenstern, which is, I guess, the correct name for it. I call it like the nail bat or the razor bat, but she actually gets a pretty decent weapon for her section, but she doesn't get it for more than 15 seconds, so. And that was June's section.
Quickly.
So yeah, we saved June. Don't really know if you can call it that, but at the same time, we did save June. So we're going to go ahead and take her bat, because it's really good. This bat does kick a lot of ass, so it is pretty good to have. And I'm pulling this instead of pushing it.
We're almost there, May.
But we've got to go save June. And we're going to go ahead and heal up our characters here. So, gives Finn energy drink and then May. And it's kind of like in the first one, you had energy drinks, first aid kits. So, you do still have your typical healing items along with your standard enemies. We do have boxes that lay around areas though, so we can potentially get items and stuff from those. But here we actually have June. If you go into a separate room that you can find along the way, you can actually find her arm. For those that remember the intro where she said, "Where's the other half of me?" You can actually find the other half of her. It's an arm sitting in a adjacent room. So technically we've saved June, but there's actually no way to save June.
We need to go.
So yeah, we tried, essentially. The whole point of saving June is to get the spiked club bat, so if you want the spiked club bat, then that is how you get it. You basically need to complete June's section for the ability to pick up the spiked bat.
Believe it either. I can't believe she's gone.
We have to get out of here before we all end up like that.
So yeah, June ended up biting the dust. No way to save her. Like, physically no way. You can save her before the monster crushes her in the hallway, but then she always gets thrown down to the basement, and there's no potential way of saving her after that point.
And what are you waiting for, Professor? A research grant? If you want to help, meet us at the hospital.
I'm already here, Corey. I'm in the lab on the ground floor.
Okay, Professor. See you down there.
So our group is all at the hospital now, the professor and everyone else. We can go ahead and give Amy the stun gun again, just because it benefits her in particular pretty decently.
I don't know how I did it, but the lab door's open.
And Corey is apparently a hacker whenever it comes to randomly hacking.
It was too ugly to live.
And we're just going to go ahead and use the syringe on that thing. Go ahead and check out our little busted out room there, because we get a small key. I'm going to try to get all of the small keys. At the same time, I hadn't found all of them prior. I actually missed one. But if you find all of the small keys, you can actually get a bit of backstory. So I'm going to try to find all of them, but no guarantees. And we don't have the code for that door yet. Well, we could, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Plus there is lore stuff in here. The viral infection has spread quickly on campus. From 9 recorded patients last month, the figure has increased to 34 today. Everything points to a general lack of moral standards when considering how fast the contamination is spread. The disease is developing mainly among those who enjoy nights of binge drinking and unprotected intercourse. This new virus is easily transmitted through bodily fluids. On the other hand, traditional STDs are in regression. It is like the new virus is killing off the competition. So, remember kids, no unprotected sex or you become a monster. So we get our small key. Amy, go ahead and inspect
You
this.
should have known better. You should always use contraceptives.
Well, it's a little bit too late for a morality lesson now.
Okay, now that we're getting attacked,
Get this thing off me! Friggin' parasite.
Hey, Blondie, stop it!
I totally didn't just smack him in the back of the head, so it's fine. But yeah, now we can solve our puzzle here. I usually like to go with corners, just because those are absolutes.
Need us, that's for sure.
When in doubt, you can't really get a corner anywhere else, so. That's just kind of how I do puzzles. Or at least these puzzles. And then from there, it's just working in the rest. So they're not really anything too troublesome. And here we have our code 0108. So we can go ahead and go grab that. As you can see, we actually have a box here, but we don't have our last key. So we need to actually find the last key, but first we can go ahead and put in 0108. And that opens up this. And go ahead and clear the monsters out of this hallway since we'll be here quite a bit.
June is gone. I hope Sven is.
But we'll go ahead and grab the
All this stuff to happen.
organs that they have here as well.
Oh, grow up. He's just a friend.
Really? You won't find another guy like him, Amy.
Go ahead and work our way in here. G237. Because we can push the bed, and there's our last small key. So now we can go ahead back to that box and see what's inside. And right in here, right here. Put them in, open the box, and we get a crossbow. Why is there a crossbow in a hospital of all places? Don't know. Never asked. Got a crossbow. Room is locked. Can't even open that one. And that's a keycard door at the end of the hallway. You can see the 2 red lights on the sides, so. This person is somehow still alive. Somehow.
I don't want to die in bed. Not like this, anyway.
Not really sure how they were still alive, all things considered, but hey, maybe they were a trooper. But we can go ahead and use Corey's ability of being a monkey man.
Corey, we need magnetic cards to access the secure area.
And Amy is stating the obvious. Go figure. So now we've opened up that, we can go ahead and work our way down and up the fire escape. Go ahead and see if there's anything in this box. Boxes are, from my understanding, completely random, so you may get something, you may not. And whatever you get from him will be random, so. Here, I know there's going to be something in here, so we'll go ahead and give Amy this, and Corey the shotgun.
Friggin' parasite. Poor thing. When is this carnage going to stop?
So that was actually like a breeding type of enemy. They're not really too terrible, but at the same time they can be annoying if you keep letting them live. But we do have a flower that we can save at, so we'll go ahead and do that. Mainly in particular, just because if you die, you will go back to the save that you were at. So we definitely want to go back to our saves. So, just makes things easier. And we've already been in pretty much all of the rest of the rooms, but there is a recharge here, so we'll go ahead and use that.
It's fine. I've charged it.
I did miss these though, so that's good. As well as this note. So let's see. Fall Creek campus is plagued by a collective psychosis. The mental affliction is strangely contradictory. On one hand, it causes a profound sexual anxiety, and on the other hand, a hyperactive libido. The students are disoriented and are torn between their fears and an insatiable sexual appetite. Some have recurring nightmares that reveal primitive and violent emotions emerging from their subconscious. So basically, everyone was huffing the flowers and stuff and ended up being sex-crazed maniacs. Kind of interesting. A little weird. So we can go ahead and use our first card, and our second card, and head on in.
You really need to snort that junk? They can mess around all
And if you remember, Kenny kind of
found things hard since Leaf
was huffing the flowers himself, so.
It's one more reason not to give up.
But Kenny also had a prior affliction that most everyone else on the college campus probably didn't.
For Christ's sake. We're family. If I can do it, there's no reason.
Because if anybody remembers, in the first game,
It's been too
every one of our group was infected.
Don't just give up.
You've always been the stronger one, and I just can't take it anymore.
Then you're going to die, little brother. Grow up and save your life, please.
Yet again, the line deliveries are a little goofy at times. So that was definitely, you know, one of those times.
Move, Amy, move!
But where are you going?
To the elevator!
And now we have to haul ass. I'm actually not in control of this scene. This is all cutscene currently. So. Yeah, they're kind of slow jogging at their own pace here, trying not to die, but we're going to go ahead and try and solve this puzzle here.
It's getting closer!
But what is it?
I don't want to know!
And there we went and did it. It's not really that bad of a puzzle. As long as you know that a color's not on the wheel next to it, then pretty much just not use that color. I mean, it's relatively self-explanatory. You only need to worry about 4 of them. Nothing too insane. But we're going to go ahead and get into the hospital as soon as possible here. And May needs to get her ass in here as well. Yeah, the bots or the AI seems to want to go to crazy lengths to fight shit, but we don't really want to do that.
It's okay.
If we can save the ammo and the health, we're gonna do that instead of, you know, sitting out in the parking lot getting our asses beat.
Here we are.
Corey,
Someone will pay for what happened to June. I promise.
just focus.
So we have the reunion of the group here.
Okay?
Sven meets up with his girl, and May meets up with her boy. But we also have the professor here who we can talk to for a battery pack. So now our bar grows larger, which is nice. And we also have our key box here.
I may be a biology teacher, but I also serve
Shotgun shells.
Yeah. Right. Of course.
And we're going to go ahead and take
Gonna heat up now.
Corey here. Sven and Corey are a decent team, and I like their banter.
That's gonna help us hold out.
But we'll go ahead and move this out of the way and work our way in here. And as you can tell, Kenny is a little impatient where he's at. And now we have to worry about all of these little shits.
Help me!
But yeah, we are on the lookout for small keys as well as particular chemical items, which is to say the glycerin here, as well as this block of ice.
Ow! Is everyone like you in Norway?
But yeah, Corey kind of blocking our way. Again, the AI on this game can be kind of bad whenever it comes to blocking. In the first game, they were relatively lax with it, but in this one, they definitely like blocking a lot worse than they did. And here we have another thing to read. Male subject, 22 years old, RH factor O negative. Cause of death, victim bled to death after having been cut and raked by an unknown weapon. Remarks, the body contains traces of an unknown black substance concentrated in the lungs and in the genital area. The lungs are definitely the first area that was exposed to the substance, which seems parasitic in nature, probably after taking some kind of narcotic via the respiratory system. This death is to be connected with that of the girlfriend of the victim. Her lungs were completely clean, contrary to her reproductive organ. Contagion through genital contact with any of the body's mucous membranes, through intercourse for example, seems likely at this point. I recommend an epidemiology study at Fall Creek Academic Hospital to identify the viral agent. So basically, the mordophilia in this one is a super STD, which is very disturbing, honestly. We got our ice and glycerin, so now we're going to go ahead and try and find the other 3 items that we need. Go ahead and check the dispensary over here.
Be seeing ya.
And we got all of them. We'll go ahead and heal Corey up,
That did the trick.
and then heal Sven up.
I feel better.
And we'll go ahead and go over here. And we're going to need May. It's never really that bad whenever you need someone else. Mainly because you don't have to go that far. It's never really bad. So whenever we have to worry about having a particular person to progress, we never really have to go far. So we just grab May and then go back into the dispensary. It took 10 seconds and 5 of staring at a opening screen. So nothing too terrible. I don't think there's another small key here currently, but at the same time I could be wrong. There is a magical first aid kit that just popped up over here, so we're gonna go ahead and take that. I think items are randomly distributed and then just appear at certain times. It's kind of weird.
Come on, little computer.
And this one,
Memory.
anybody familiar with scientists? We have Einstein. So, nothing too insane.
Okay.
And here we have our thing on how to make nitroglycerin. But the particular thing that we want to pay attention to is the recipe summary for ascorbic acid, which the code is 1634. So now we know that. We can also take our ingredients here. But it also has a making order. So we want to do bleach, acid, ice, glycerin, soda. Which we can pull the paper out again whenever we need it. In a bit. So our code was 1634. And there we get our acid. But here's our small key. So we've got 2 now, we just need the 3rd one. Which should be in the room where we need to make our acid. So go ahead and head back on into this room where we have our chemical mixing station. And get our last small key there. And our caustic soda.
We need explosives to blow it up.
Be careful. Even in this antiseptic environment,
And our
we're still
bleach.
vulnerable.
Ammo for flashball. Ammunition on certain things will be spoiled ahead of time, so that's nothing too bad. But we'll go ahead and read our recipe again. So we need bleach, acid, ice, glycerin, soda. So B-A-I-G-S. 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 B-A-I-G-S rather than guess. So bleach, acid, ice, glycerin,
It's time
and
to
soda.
test out our mixture on the newly constructed wall near the entrance.
So that gives us dynamite, or nitroglycerin. And here we have another report, so we can go ahead and read this. The flower is sensitive to light. Nevertheless, it has a very effective defense system. If exposed to a source of light, it closes its petals hermetically, protecting its photosensitive cells. Sunlight was unable to prevent its propagation through Fall Creek County. The flowers feed and propagate from a supremely widespread root system, which in order to destroy it must be terminated at the source. Regrettably, because of the complex root structure, we are unable to locate its origin at this time. So, the flowers had a root system, for anybody that hasn't seen the first one. Leonard. Also, Kenny is still having a blast up there. Just absolutely fun time above us. Which I'm not too worried about. But we can go ahead and open up our box here for our flashball. And May, currently get out of the way. Corey, you're coming with me. And this is actually the wall that they're talking about. So, go ahead and light our dynamite. Give it a chuck. Stay away from it.
I'm keeping the recipe, just in case.
And Corey is going to stick with his recipe But we blew out the wall to the supplies, so we can go ahead and go in here.
The professor was right. The ambulance parking lot can't be far away.
Which this is supposed to be one big puzzle area, but it's nothing too bad. Go ahead and help Corey out up there. Pull this out so he can jump on top. And we'll go ahead and clear out boxes and stuff too. Just because you never know, we could need them.
This thing weighs a
Or whatever is in them.
Palace, coach driver.
Right away, princess.
There are more over here, so we can go ahead and open them up. Crossbow arrows, always nice. Then we can still leave Corey up there for a bit. So now we switch to Corey, start doing his parkour. His crazy Monkey Man style stuff. Let go down a shelf. Go across the way. And then we can climb ourselves up here. And now, in case we fall, we also have this ladder. So we don't need to worry about using the ladder. It's just a placeholder in case we fall. But now we're back to Sven.
You know, Amy's crazy about you.
The camera is a little wonky with pushing and pulling items in this.
Bells already.
Let's just hope they don't turn out to be funeral bells.
Because whenever the camera changes, it can actually mess up which way you're pushing and pulling things. It's kind of awkward. But we do have another box here, as well as a drink. So we can go ahead and grab those. Then walk Sven back over this way. And just leave him here for the time being. But we'll go ahead and push this. The elevator goes down ever so slightly, but then we can lift his gigantic golden blonde ass up here. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh, maybe I can't touch the flower. I kind of forgot about that. Certain things just kind of stop you from being able to use the flower. If you reach a certain point, it's really weird. But it's not that bad. I mean, we're looking pretty good, but we will be going into the next room, starting a cutscene. And again, Kenny is having a really, really good time. In case you're wondering. So yeah, our group from the original is down a man, because now Kenny is a gigantic monster.
Looks like we're gonna have a little party.
And as you can see, May over there is going absolutely crazy with the flashball. But it ends up getting rid of Kenny, so nothing too bad.
Now you're gonna know the meaning of regret. Oh, I didn't do it on purpose.
But yeah,
But now,
in case you're wondering, this game,
Kenny, enough.
yeah, people drop like flies.
You're a jerk, man.
we're no longer family.
Because May is now
The same blood
gone.
doesn't run through our veins anymore. The pain has gone, and I have opened my eyes.
You were our friend, Kenny.
I don't think Shannon really has a weapon she can use currently because she's not attacking. So there we go. Yeah, Kenny doesn't really go for the AI partner at all, so you don't really have too much to worry about with the AI shooting him. He pretty much goes for the character that's being controlled, So, super simple. If you just run around, give the AI all of the weapons, they can pretty much blast him for free while you dodge the attacks for not a whole lot of damage. But yes, unfortunately, May was cut from the group, which is really odd. Like, they introduce all of these characters and then just immediately start dropping them. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. You'd think you would want more connection with them before. But at the same time, I mean, it happens. You never know. I don't know. Whenever you get rid of characters in games like this, I always just assume you want to have a better built connection with the character if you're trying to go for a sympathy thing. But it just does whatever. I mean, it's not my game, so they kind of tried to go with what they wanted to go with.